Well, hello. I don't think I can be asked to share this one today. I'll do it after. See if anyone joins me live. I am very much in my comfy, snuggly, holy fuck it's cold today clothing. Hi Eva. Now, do you have notifications on for when I go live? Because you manage to like catch me pretty much every time I go live, which I love. So do let me know if you're here on the live, if you're watching live, if you're on the replay. Hey Chantal, nice to have you live. So yeah, I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today, and they're, they feel like they're completely unconnected, but I'm sure we'll figure out why they are. So one of the things is this idea about when we get good at something, we suddenly decide that we have to that's your magic power. Well, it's a pretty good one. I'm down for it. Hey, Alanda, nice to have you here. Yeah, this idea that just because we're good at something doesn't mean we have to be the best. And this is something that I have definitely had come up for me time and time again. And it shows up for me in this way, oh, hey, Grace, nice to have you as well. Oh, my goodness, all the best people are here today. This is amazing. So this showed up for me, smacked me in the face on probably over the last couple of weeks. So I've been training Muay Thai with my one-to-one trainer every Monday for 2 or 3 months now, and I've really been noticing my increase in technique and my stamina. Yo, bride! And talking about Muay Thai, of course you're here. You are my Thai bride. Once, twice, 3 times a lady. You'll always be my Thai bride. So I've been training with him for the last, say, 3 months, but regularly, pretty much every single week. And then going to 3 or 4 other classes as well. And just really focusing on, taking care of my body and all that good stuff. So what I started to notice was, oh my God, I have so many things I want to say and they're all trying to come out of my mouth at the same time. So this is going to be one of those live streams where you have to if something grabs you and I don't finish talking about it, please remind me in the comments, be like, Noel, come back to that thing you were talking about because I need to know the end of that story because it's relevant to me. So I also want to talk about when people get really fucked up on launches and feel like they have to stare at the thing. Because today I was doing some stuff for the Money Mindset Reset program and I was like, oh, that's actually I can just lean back. I don't have to be staring at this. And there was a time where I literally thought I had to fucking stare at the thing. Anyway, all these things are coming into my head. So let's start with the first thing that I was talking about, which was the regularity in my Muay Thai training. So anyway, here we go. We're going in. Point number 1. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to be the best. It doesn't mean you have to be the expert. I noticed that because I love training, right? I love training Muay Thai. So I was going more and more and more, and I'd add an extra session into the week whenever I could, with clients and timing and all that good stuff. Anytime I could make another session, linguistically, that's not what I meant. Linguini, no. Logistically, when things worked out and I could get an extra session in, I was like, sign me up, I'll be there. And then over the last couple of weeks, I could feel like I was showing up to my one-to-one sessions and I felt like I just wasn't able to give as much as I knew I had the capacity to give. So you might not train Muay Thai, you might not train at all, but please take these words and apply them to whatever situation in your life you feel that they are relevant, because just because I'm talking about Muay Thai doesn't mean this doesn't apply to how you do business or how you do relationships or how you take care of your physical body. But as I could feel I was improving, I did more and more and more, and then I started showing up to my sessions and I wasn't able to show up in what felt like in my full capacity. And yeah, I was giving myself a pat on the back for still showing up and still doing the thing and still sweating and pushing through and whatever. But on Friday I was meant to train, and Friday is kind of the best session for me because we do an extra long one sometimes. And this Friday, I'd done an extra session on the Wednesday, which I don't normally do. And I could feel my body was starting to not be very fucking happy about it. Like I was looking in the mirror and I was looking old. You know, I looked like pale. I was starting to get bags under my eyes. I was like I felt like although my brain was saying to me, you can do this, like you can go, which is great. It means my mindset's fucking shit hot now around like the motivation side of it. But I could feel my body was like, please don't make me go. And I started to get pain in my spine and around my neck. And I was just like, fuck, I really want to go tonight. But when I dug beneath that, like, why is it that I am fighting my body on this? And when I looked within, it was like, oh, you've decided that you now need to keep going to prove that you're ready to fight when fights are happening again. Obviously they're not happening right now because of, you know, fucking Miss Rona, as my friend calls her. So I had stopped, I tipped the scales and I'd gone from really, really enjoying it to doing more and more and more and more. And then like at some point over the last 2 weeks, something like a switch flicked in my head, and it was less about me going because I enjoyed it and more about me going because I could feel I was improving, and therefore I wanted to get better and better and better. So like anything, this is about a balance. When we feel like we're improving at something, whether it's like making money, you know, our client work, whether we've learned a new modality and we feel like we're just getting better and better with it, or whether it's a sport, whatever, right? Whatever area of your life you're working on at the moment. When you start to see physical manifestations that are like a nod from the universe, like, yes, this is working, you're getting results, we can allow those results to become the thing that then pulls us forward rather than being driven from the inside. And this is a lesson that I have to learn over and over again. Like I always continue to come back to dropping in deeper, and I no longer see myself as a failure if I don't automatically go within first, and if the universe has to give me a bit of a nudge, like a bit of neck pain or a bit of like looking like an old hag in the mirror. You know, like if the universe has to reflect something back at me for me to go, oh shit, I should probably slow down and reassess, why am I doing this? And I'm okay with that, whereas before I would have either pushed through and ignored the signs and end up really fucking myself up and then having to be out for weeks, and it's like the universe going, are you ever gonna fucking learn, bitch? But now it's like when I get the message much sooner, I'm paying attention more to how my body feels and what the universe is telling me, right? And if any of you relate to this in any area of your life, please let me know. This is a conversation. I'm all down for a freestyle one-way rant, but if you feel you'd like to converse and get something out of it, please do. Like, you get to ask me questions, share reflections about your own life. Please engage. I love all the things. It's just pouring myself a little fresh mug of green tea from my teapot, because could I be any more British? Cheers, darling. So what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, so basically when you stop enjoying something, don't forget why you started. So I started training again because I love it. I wanted to get fit. I wanted to improve my technique, but it all came from a place of really, really enjoying the process. And when I stop enjoying the process, that usually means there's something that I need to take heed of. I need to listen to my body again and get the new pieces of information, right? So whether it's physical training, whether it's launching a product. So one of my beautiful private clients who does Telegram coaching with me was saying to me the other day, she has this amazing offering that she wanted to put out. She was really excited about it. And then the fire started to fizzle because she was no longer really connected with the offering. And my reflection back to her was purely, you don't have to commit to it being exactly what you thought it was going to be at the moment of the offering's conception in your brain. You don't have to commit to it being exactly that. Hey Karen, nice to have you live. Nice to see you, bish. So yeah, this idea that you have to, like, I've had the idea and now it has to be this thing and now I have to plan it all meticulously and it has to be fucking perfect. What that can actually do is cause contraction in the body, and then we're so busy, and this links into the launch thing, we're so busy thinking about, how am I going to sell it? How am I going to launch it? How many emails do I need to write? What do I need to do? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I've been there, trust me. How many posts do I need to write? Who do I need to tell? Like, hey, how much is too much marketing? Like, is there so many, am I annoying people? Should I email? I don't know what to do. Like, and we kind of get all in our head about it. And that's when the body contracts. And what we forget about at that point is why we wanted to create the offering in the first place. And we want to create the offerings, like my people who follow my work, whether they are artists or coaches, whatever they're doing as their, like whatever industry they're in, they want to impact people's lives in a positive way. They want to change people's lives, whether it's through a piece of beautiful artwork that has like gut punch emotion in it when people look at it and it's somehow like healing to just be in the presence of this artwork, or whether it's physical PTs or like people who do energy work, coaching, whatever it is. When people come and work with me, I am constantly reminding them that when they feel contracted or they've lost the fire in their belly for what they're selling, it's likely because they've either got so caught up in the process of the how it's meant to look from the outside, like how I'm meant to be launching, what a launch is meant to be and what it's meant to look like. They're either so caught up in that they've forgotten why the fuck they even do what they do in the first place, or it could be a combination of the two as well. Or there's something that's no longer in alignment with the offering. So for example, when I created the business cover the first time round, it was meant to be a high ticket 5K program for 3 months, high level mastermind, calls every week, you know, like it was really fucking high level, high ticket offering. And then as I began to sell it, I felt really excited. Like I was so fucking excited to sell Radiance. And then after about a week of selling it, I was like, it feels like hard work. It feels like fucking hard work. And something that was meant to be this high ticket offering came down to something that I ended up selling for the first round. It was like £750 for 3 months. And then after that, when new people joined, I'd put the price up because I realized the value was more than that after I've been running it for a while. You know, but it's like, people think they have to have all the fucking details like nailed down at the beginning, and they forget that we are creative beings and we are intuitive beings, and sometimes we get the initial hit for what an offering is going to be, and the real magic comes when we allow ourselves to like open and surrender into the divine flow of our life and allow ourselves to be guided. And this need to be like predictable and rigid and dependable. It's like, I'm not fucking rigid, and I'm not like, that is just not who I am. Like, I'm really, as I said, as one of my lovely clients from the last business coven, Sam, said, she was like, you're mercurial. And I was like, what does that mean? And I looked it up, and it basically means changes like the fucking wind. 1 minute I'm this, the next minute I'm that. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get, right? And at first when she said that to me, I was like, oh fuck, like, maybe I'm like too changed. Maybe I changed my mind too much. Maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that. And then when I did my clearing, I'm okay with being mercurial. I'm okay with not being mercurial, right? I did my clearing on it, all that shit. And then I felt into it afterwards, and I was like, she's fucking right. I fucking am. And it's part of what makes me so good at what I do, and it's part of what makes me the right coach for the people that come to me for coaching, because sometimes, most of the time, Grace for sure can totally relate. I feel you. Manifesting generator life, am I right? But this idea that you have to be one thing and that is all you're allowed to be is probably the thing that's holding you back from truly expanding into what you want to be and who you want to be. And the idea of launching anything for longer than like 10 days makes me feel like I want to gouge my fucking eyes out with my own hand. I just can't even imagine anything worse in my business. I would be so fucking bored that by the time you actually run the fucking program, you're so tired and you're fucking bored. You're already fucking bored of the offering. Like, if I spent too long marketing and like having to talk about the same offering, I'd spunk all my fire, like my internal fire for the bloody program during the marketing and the lead up to the fucking launch. And by the time I ran it, I'd be like, oh, this fucking thing, I wish it was done. So bear in mind that at the end of the launch, you've got to fucking run the thing, yeah? So for me at the moment, I'm launching and selling the 10-day money mindset reset, and I knew I was going to be running it. I knew it was going to start on the 10th of October. But fuck me if I was going to start marketing it before October. Fuck that. I want my energy to be so fucking aligned and fire and juicy so that when people step into that container, boom, they're already getting fucking results. I want people to buy this program and get fucking results just from hitting the button. I'm not I'm not happy if people are not getting shifts in my programs. Like, if you sign up to work with me and you're actually invested, like, I'm not saying that if you just pay me suddenly magical things happen. I'm saying that if you decide from that, like, oh, I need to do this program, regardless of whatever stuff comes up in your head, right, around why you shouldn't, or why you're not worthy, or who do I think I am to be investing in myself when, you know, there's a pandemic or whatever fucking bullshit is going through your head. Like, don't let external circumstances be the thing that dictates to you how you invest in yourself and how you take care of yourself. Don't let what's happening outside of you ever for one fucking minute deter you from the fact that you are so fucking worthy and so powerful. And at the moment, I think because of everything that's happening in the world, we're witnessing this kind of paradigm shift between, and we're really starting to see the people who are sovereign beings who know that they fully create their motherfucking reality from the inside, and the people who do not know that. Because at the moment, there are physical, real life restrictions that have been put in place that have been triggering the fuck out of all of our trapped, I'm stuck, I'm oppressed, I'm being persecuted. All of this fucking ancestral wounding is coming to the surface. That was part of what the witch wound activation and clearing that I did a few weeks ago. That was all the shit that was coming up in there. Like, you know, just fucking I get goosebumps even thinking about it. It was so powerful. But at this time in your life, to be able to go within and fully own that you are the creator of your reality. And yes, there are things happening in the world right now that mean that some of us have been confined to houses or islands or various boroughs, you know, like in the UK or wherever you are in the world. There's fucked up shit happening right now. And this isn't spiritually bypassing and saying don't feel it, because holy fucking shit do I feel it, man. Like, I fucking feel it. I had a full bubbly snot cry. I can't remember, I think it was like last weekend. I just felt all this oppression and this like this weariness. I felt heavy and I was just like, ooh, what the fuck is this? And I was taking my clients in a spiral through level 4. So we were in heart week, which meant that I was like super open in the heart, which meant that I was like just feeling the world, but also feeling my own stuff way more than I might do on a daily basis when I'm like fully integrated after doing the spiral. And I just felt all of this heaviness and I was like, wow, I have just kind of sucked it up and got the fuck on with it for the last few months. And I'm pleased I have. Like, I've managed to kind of hold my shit together. And I felt really good. And I've had some massive fucking wins, like financially, in my relationships, in completely like building whole new friendships, and just some fucking incredible stuff has fucking happened to me over the last few months. It really has, because I've committed to going in and doing the inner work. Yeah. So yes, things aren't exactly how I would like them. I would love to be able to travel to Bali in November and do the advanced practitioner training for Spiral. I was so excited about that. But you know what? I can't do that now because of the way that travel restrictions are. And it was okay to feel pissed off about that. And it was okay to feel like disappointed about that. But am I going to then become a fucking victim and let that rule my life? Or am I going to have my moment of feeling victimized, let myself go fully into it, bubbly snot, cry, scream, rage out on a pillow, you know, and then just get on with it? Again, it's like finding that balance between allowing yourself to actually feel the frustrations of your physical reality right now and understanding that we are also welcoming in this new reality, this new timeline where the paradigm is completely shifting and we are actually able to change things a lot quicker than we think. And often what's actually happening in this new timeline is we're slowing our manifestations down because we're trying to operate from that old timeline. We're trying to operate from that, I have to do this, I have to follow these steps, I have to be this person. And it's like, no. Stop and stand still for a minute and feel the world. Like, when we first went into lockdown on our island, we're not in lockdown anymore, but when we were, remember saying to my boyfriend, like, everything feels so still, and I felt like I could hear the earth. I felt like I could hear, goosebumps, the planet Earth actually speaking, like, slow down, listen to me, hear me. And it was very emotional, and it was very grounding to be able to, like, really tune into the earth in that way. But it's so easy for us to get caught in the spinning thoughts in our head and forget that if we allow them to drop into the body, fuck, do you know how powerful your physical vessel is? Like, it can literally, with intention, you can alchemize and transform any thoughts, any fears, any beliefs in seconds. It's like this. When you allow your thoughts to gather, like, to the way that I've been thinking about it and tuning in with when I do take my clients through meditations at the moment, is almost like this idea that the thoughts in the mind, giving them making them become almost like physical matter, and then just allowing them to, like, drop down through the body into the sacral and the root chakra, and just allowing the body to transmute, to alchemize those emotions into magic, right? Like, into fucking cool shit that you get to have. That's what I've been doing a lot of recently with clients, is just, like, let your thoughts become heavy, let them gain matter, rather than being this, like, fucking, like, scribble in your head. Let them become solid and drop down through the body, and let the body do the work. Your body is so powerful. The mind is really fucking powerful as well. But I used to very much be about everything from the mind, everything needs to come from up here. And because, like, I got praised for being clever and, you know, being somewhat intellectual when I was younger, what can I say? I don't know why, my pipe appeared to be over there, and yet I was holding it here. I don't know. I'm clearly not a very skilled mime, let's put it that way. But, like, this idea that you can be intelligent, you can have a very sharp mind and be incredibly intuitive and use your body and your body's wisdom to guide you as well. The two don't have to operate separately. They can work in unison, and when they do, it is potent as fuck. And that's a big part of the work that I love to do with people now. Is there anything that I started saying that someone out there was, like, chomping at the bit to hear the end of? Or did I, in true Ross Noble style, manage to tie up all of my loose ends? Please tell me in the comments. Help me out here, guys. Which one of my rambles did I not complete? Also just gives me time to freshen my tea. Cheers. Tied it up. Like a fucking pro. I should do this shit for a living. Oh, wait. Just feeling if there's anything else that needs to come through today. Oh, the announcement. It's two things, actually. One is for all of the people who are Money Mindset Reset for the next round that starts on the 10th of October. For every single person, whether you're an alumni or a new person, I've set up an opportunity in there where you can, like, upgrade to a VIP status and get one-to-one access to me via Telegram for the full 30 days. There is an investment attached to that. but it's something that I normally only allow. Usually I only really do this for people that I have worked with and just need like an extra bit of support as they kind of transition from working with me back into like kind of spreading their wings, or like in between programs with me or whatever. So that's the first exciting thing. But the second exciting thing, and this came to me a few days ago, and I was like, oh my God, am I really going to do that? Am I? Is there anyone who signs up fresh for this round? So anyone who pays the £222 or on a payment plan, it doesn't matter. You don't have to pay in full. You can still be put in this prize draw, even if you're on one of the payment plans for this next round that starts on the 10th. And the link is in the subject line of this live stream. And if you've already signed up, so for those of you who've already signed up for the 30-day money mindset reset starting in October, and you've paid for it for this round, don't worry, you're already in the draw. So don't worry, you don't have to go and buy it again. You don't have to do anything. Like, you're already taken into account. So fucking fair play for you for jumping in and just getting on board early. But for anybody who signs up before the start date on the 10th, so this will officially, like, once the program starts, this offer is no longer available. It's only the people who sign up before the 10th. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put everyone into a prize draw and just draw one of your names out of a proverbial hat. I may even get a real hat. I have several. We could do that. Draw it out of a hat and you will get a one-to-one session with me to work through your specific money blocks. So those sessions are actually worth £500. That is how much I charge for a one-off session these days. I don't do them very often. I tend to work with people for a longer period of time. But that is going to be, you're already activated, sorting out your money this week. Amazing, Karen. I love it. Yes, it's happening. People are messaging me. People are writing in my free group saying they're having money stuff coming up. And I'm like, well, of course you are, because you're being initiated, you know. So sometimes people will sign up for this program and instantly get an influx of money. And sometimes they'll sign up for this program and then they'll get like a bill in the post or something. And they'll be like, oh my God, why is this? Or they'll like lose their credit cards or something. And they're like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I thought that I was meant to be making more money. And I'm like, well, it's happening because it's trying to teach you something. So we very much go into all of the things that are happening in your life, everything that happens to you from the moment you fucking sign up, whether you're an alumni and you just click the button to join the mailing list to be in the new program, or whether you're a new person. The minute you say yes and decide you're going to be in that container, holy fuck, shit's going to start moving for you. So any resistance that you notice coming up, any people who are like late paying you, any people who are kind of saying you owe them money, or like get bills in the post, or maybe you start to find like pennies, maybe you start to find money, maybe opportunities come to you to make money that you would never have even thought of before, but for some reason someone's thought of you and they want to pay you for a thing that you do and it's fucking easy money, so why the fuck not? Maybe you get refunds, or you find a voucher that you'd forgotten about. Like, it's not just for entrepreneurs, it's not just for people who own businesses. And I think that's one of the most magical things about this program, is that it really is for everybody. So I've had people come through it who are in full-time employment, and yet they've still made more money because they've, as I say, like they've got refunds for things that they didn't even realize they hadn't been refunded for, or whatever. So it's really just about taking the blinkers off and allowing your perception of what is possible for you when it comes to the energy of money and the physical, you know, money itself. For me now with money, I see it as numbers, right? I just see it as numbers. Like, you take some numbers, I'll give you some numbers for that thing, and then I get something in return, and then someone sends me some numbers, and the numbers go up and they go down and they flow and they move, and it's all great. It wasn't always this way. It wasn't always this fucking way. And it's like, I'm not going to go into a big struggle story about how I used to be. I've written out 4 days worth of posts about my money story. So if you're interested in that, then please, you know, take a look on my Facebook wall, because it's over the next few days. I'm going to be sharing that with you and with my mailing list, because I think sometimes you get to a certain point and I feel so differently and I speak so differently about money than I used to. And it can be easy to kind of look at someone, and I used to do this, and I still do this sometimes, which is why I'm aware of it. You know, like, you'll almost look at someone and be like, oh yeah, but it's possible for them because X, Y, Z. Oh, it's okay. They can think about it like that because they've already made the money, or they've already done the hard work, or blah, blah, blah. And I want you to know that I don't want you to look at me and be like, oh, I can't have what she's got because she's been doing this longer, or she's got this, or she's got, or for her to say because she's got the money now, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't always this fucking way. Why do you think I give so much of a shit about teaching this stuff? Like, it set me free. Doing this work on money and allowing myself to, allowing myself to be a student again with money and not think like, I've done so much fucking money work and shit still comes up sometimes. I mean, hello, always evolving, always growing, therefore things are going to come up and smack me in the face sometimes. I'm going to be like, oh, there's a belief I didn't know I had, or there's a new level of income that I've reached and suddenly my nervous system is having a bit of a fucking meltdown, or, oh, look, I'm having a bit of a breakdown. That must mean there's a breakthrough coming. I just have a higher level of awareness now. And I'm able to relax into the energy of receiving better. Like, I'm not fucking perfect. I don't want to be. I don't claim to be. You don't need to be to make money. You don't need to be fucking perfect, because perfection doesn't even exist. And the goalposts move. What I used to think was perfect, now I'm like, this is like the last thing I would want to be. When I first started my business, I thought perfection was someone like Marie Forleo, who I still, think the way that they're like, B School and all that stuff, like it's a great program for when you get started out and you just want to know kind of like the basics of how to get started. I did it. I found it quite helpful at the beginning. But I used to look at someone like her and be like, I want to be like you. And now I'm like, I literally couldn't want to be less like you. I still follow her on Instagram, whatever, and I still admire her as a human because she's done some fucking amazing shit. But I don't look at anyone online and be like, I need to be like you. That's the way I want to do it. People inspire me. People might do something and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. And it'll like get me excited about something. But I just always want to be more me. I want to be more me, and the more me I am, the more I attract people who vibe and resonate with my message and my way of doing things so much that it literally takes, sometimes they message me and by the time I go to answer, they've already answered their own question because they're in this magical container with me. So they know, I'm always coaching energetically, even if I'm not actually fucking talking to someone. And when you get to that point where you're attracting people who are so fucking aligned soulmate clients that you literally just have to send them like 2 or 3 words or like a 10-second voice message and they're like, oh my God, yes, of course, everything's fine. Oh, and by the way, that thing that I messaged you about has completely changed and blah, 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 blah has happened since then. So it's so interesting to me that we can often look at other people and use their, like where they are or who they are and the disparity between the two of us as a reason for why we can't have what they have, or we can't do or achieve or be the way that they are. And actually just remember that everything is a mirror, and if someone has something or is showing up in a way that you wish you could and it triggers you in a good or a bad way, you can do it. You just need to own that part of yourself and start showing up as more as your version of that thing. There is no other me and there is no other you. That's what makes us unique. No amount of certificates or how you decorate your home office or the way, like what you wear, like none of that shit fucking matters. It's all about the energy. Sometimes I wear makeup, sometimes I don't. It makes fuck all difference to how many people watch my live streams. It just doesn't make any fucking difference. So do you, be more you. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Keep your eyes on your path and just keep fucking going. And if you're not already in for the 30-day money mindset reset that starts on the 10th of October, get in now to be in with a chance to win a one-to-one session with this bitch. And let me tell you, I'll blow your freaking mind. You won't even believe the shit we will clear in 1 hour. 1 hour with me, it's like a fucking lifetime. And I mean that in the best possible way. We will laugh, we will cry, we will clear all the things. You're welcome. So to be in with a chance of winning that one-to-one session, you do need to purchase the 30-day money mindset reset before the 10th of October, which is our start date. I'm a bit excited about it. Can you tell? Oh. Okay, let me know if you're joining. Drop me a comment below to let me know when you've signed up so I can celebrate with you. There are 3 payment options, pay in full, 3-month and 6-month payment plans. They're all available right now. Click the link, do the thing, and I will see you in there. Bye.